The Western Balkans sits at the heart of Europe. It still has a considerable untapped renewable potential of homegrown energy. As the region moves closer to energy market integration with the EU, the transition can transform the region in a clean energy hub, ensuring the sustainability of the electricity sector with long-term financial benefits. Homegrown energy, European energy that flows easily across borders will keep markets competitive, business running, and prices affordable in times of crisis. A greener region will also contribute to European energy security. These are encouraging conclusions that validate the work the region has committed to do under the umbrella of the energy community. For over 20 years, we have been steadily advancing toward green, integrated future. The current crisis has not changed this direction. It has simply sped up the timeline. Today, it has become clear that the region cannot wait until after accession catch up with the energy reforms necessary to join a decarbonized EU market. It would be simply too costly. It would lead to an economy held back by sudden regulatory uncertainty. It would cause businesses to lose competitiveness due to outdated infrastructure and rising production costs. And it would negatively impact vulnerable households who will find themselves navigating a new reality suddenly, instead of gradually and with support needed for social cohesion. Carbon border adjustment mechanism adds extra urgency to this equation. The Western Balkans are now paying a price at its borders for not having advanced sufficiently in the transition. The Secretariat's most recent analysis shows that in the first quarter of 2026, commercially scheduled cross-border electricity exchanges in the Western Balkans fell by 25% across borders with the EU member states, most likely caused by the new economic reality created by the carbon border adjustment mechanism. But it is easy to understand this moment as a problem to be solved. Instead of, I think we must embrace it as an opportunity we can simply not afford to miss. This leads me to the final two questions to be answered. How to turn the transition into lived reality for the Western Balkans, and how to attract the investment and financing that the transition requires. The clear path to both lies in basic economics, market size and investor certainty. The first will be achieved through Western Balkan electricity market integration with the EU. As contracting parties to the Energy Community Treaty, transposing the legislation necessary to begin the coupling process is a common sense first step to create a credible basis for scaling up renewables and building new energy system ahead of joining the European Union. There has been progress in the Western Balkans. Let me focus on Serbia only. Serbia has adopted the relevant legislation, and the European Commission is expected to issue its opinion on compliance by 16th May. In the case of positive opinion, Serbia will enter a phase intended to guarantee contractual and technical readiness for market coupling. Other contracting parties are following up so that we can advance as a region towards the creation of larger markets that attract more suppliers, foster competition, and build investor confidence. These investors will commit green funding to the region when they are certain that the region itself is committed to its decarbonization targets. To lock in investor certainty, the Western Balkans require climate governance structures that are both predictable and credible. The Secretariat is working with contracting parties to put these systems in place. At the same time, establishing carbon pricing systems can incentivize emissions reductions and, in line with the EU standards, help ensure that revenues remain with the region to support clean energy transition. This alignment with the EU ETS should be gradual and predictable. Carbon price trajectories must be clear for EU candidate countries and carefully synchronized across the different policy tracks shaping the region's decarbonization pathway, including carbon border adjustment mechanism, electricity market integration, and ultimately, of course, the EU accession. Contracting parties that decide to move forward with carbon pricing should be supported through targeted pre-accession assistance, including for just transition measures, affordability concerns, and the social and economic challenges linked to progressive carbon pricing alignment. Achieving this will require sustained investments in building technical expertise, strengthening regulatory bodies, and ensuring coordination across ministers. But this is not an investment, this is just a necessity of transition itself. It's no longer debatable, I believe. The only matter we should concern now ourselves with now is actually timing. By acting today, we send a clear signal that this region is prime for investment, that is ready for integration, and it is able to deliver a clean, competitive, and secure energy for all Europe. Thank you very much.